Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. As the title suggests, we are gonna be reviewing a concealer dupe today. I review a lot of dupes, but they are mainly eyeshadow palette dupes, and I feel like the reason that there are so many eyeshadow palette dupes on the market is because they are so easy to dupe. You just take the shade and you make a powder that's as similar as possible, sometimes disregarding the texture or the finish of that shade and just trying to put a shade as close to the original as possible in your palette. And I feel like for us consumers as well, that's the most obvious dupe. If you're trying to dupe a foundation or a concealer and the packaging doesn't resemble the original one, you basically gonna have no idea that you're dealing with a very similar product. I have done a foundation dupe video previously on my channel where I was comparing to each other the Lancome Teint Idol Ultra Wear foundation and the Maybelline Superstay foundation, and they are extremely similar. Even the ingredient lists are super similar, but I feel like with that one the packaging was quite similar as well. Not obvious, but quite similar, and that's the case with today's dupe as well. Obviously we are talking about the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, which has been around for a while, and I'm definitely not the first one to review it, but seeing that my channel is so full of dupe products, I wanted to branch out a little bit and do dupes of other things as well, not just eyeshadow palettes. But I feel like sometimes with things like lipsticks, for example, or even a concealer, you can basically call anything a dupe, because as long as it does the job, it's a concealer. So I have a really difficult job today, at least for me personally is more difficult than usual, because I find it quite hard to tell if a concealer is similar to the other one. Obviously, you can judge the way it feels, you can judge how full coverage it is and how much it creases or not. But other than that, you can basically call anything a dupe. So half of the market is basically supposedly duping the same thing. Obviously, the ingredients also that you can put into a concealer are quite limited. They are basically gonna be pretty much the same thing. So it's a little bit more difficult than with an eyeshadow palette, and there's also less to talk about. So this is gonna be a really short video, and let's just jump right into it. So as you guys can probably tell, my makeup is already done. I have used these two concealers on my face today. This side is the Nars side and this side is the Maybelline side. I finished my makeup roughly about half an hour ago at this point, and so far I cannot see any difference, quite honestly, but we shall see as the day goes by. Before we would do that though, let's talk about these two products first a little bit. So this is the Nars Radiant Creamy concealer. I don't think I need to introduce this product to anyone. It is an absolute cult favorite. I feel like this was the first concealer that was really hyped here on YouTube, and I was one of the people who got sucked in. I felt like my life is just not complete without it, so I purchased it, I used it. I didn't repurchase it until recently. Now they have it in more shades. There are 30 shades available in total, and the full-size product retails for £24. You get 6 milliliters of product for that money, and I have it here in the shade Creme Brulee. Because they have 30 shades and because it's such a lightweight concealer, I feel like it's gonna be really easy for you to find a shade that suits your skin tone. I went with Creme Brulee because this one has a little bit more pink in it, so I felt like this fit my skin tone very well, and it's a beautiful concealer. I love it when I want more natural makeup. And right next to it we have the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. Another product that I don't need to introduce to anyone. You get slightly more product in this one, 6.8 milliliter of product, and you pay £6 for it, £5.99, but basically £6. So it is significantly cheaper, 4 times cheaper than the original one, and you also get slightly more product in it. And I have this one in shade 15. Previously they used to have 10, 20 and 30. And now they have 13 different shades, including this one. Anything that ends with a 5 is gonna have more pink, more cool undertone to it. And anything that ends with a 0 is gonna be more warm toned, more yellow. So this is again a perfect match to my skin tone, even though I feel like on screen it looks slightly darker than the Nars one. In real life they are very similar. I'm gonna go and swatch them on the back of my hand now. So this is the Nars Creme Brulee shade, and this is the Maybelline Fit Me number 15. So I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but in real life you can definitely tell that they have a really beautiful pink undertone to them. So once again, they're gonna both fit cool toned skin very well. I would definitely say that the Nars one is more of a matte finish at first. The Maybelline one has more sheen to it, and I feel like it's also more watery. When I was applying it on my hand, I felt like it was more slippery and there was more product coming out. So I feel like because of that, the Nars probably has less problem with settling into fine lines, but we shall see. So I very quickly blend them out using my finger on the back of my hand because I wanted to see how full coverage they are. Obviously the top one, the Nars one, matches my skin tone better, so it kind of disappeared more once I blended it out, but I promise you it's there and it gives you a really, really nice coverage. However, the Maybelline Fit Me also gives you a really, really nice coverage. One thing I noticed though is that the Nars one has more of a blurring effect. It fills up the pores better to even out the skin, and the Maybelline one doesn't do that. Before we go any further, I'm gonna insert a short clip quickly showing you how I apply these two products. First, I'm gonna be applying the Nars one on the right side of my face. I apply some under my eyes, inner corner, down where I have expression lines around my mouth, and some in the center of the forehead. And then I repeat the same thing on the Maybelline side. Once again, the Maybelline one is a lot more watery, so it goes a longer way when you're applying it, but just bear in mind that because it's a more watery product, it is going to have slightly less coverage, so you might need to use more than you would use from the Nars one. Once I was done applying them, I set my whole face using the RCMA No Color Setting Powder, and then I went on to applying my blush, bronzer, highlight and contour powder as I always do, and then I sprayed down the whole face with some setting powder, and I cannot tell the difference. I still feel that the Nars one is it just feels more luxurious. I really, really like how perfect the consistency of it is, meaning that it's not too watery. I don't like when a concealer is too watery because you do need to apply more product, and because of that it's more likely to crease. But even though that's something I'm aware of, I don't see any difference. I don't feel like the Maybelline Fit Me is creasing anymore. Now I'm gonna leave this on for a little while because I know you guys like check-ins later on, so I'm gonna leave this on for now, and I'm gonna check back with you in a couple of hours and we see if either of them starts fading and creasing more than the other or not. So I will see you guys very shortly. Okay, so here we are again. It's been about 4 or 5 hours at this point. Obviously my lipstick is missing because I had some lunch in the meantime, but otherwise I didn't touch up my makeup at all. I still find them extremely similar. I honestly don't see any difference. One thing I wanted to quickly talk about before I wrap up the video is also the ingredients, because as I mentioned previously, with things like concealers, foundation, products like that, it's not really the color that you're looking for, but the finish, the feel of it, the longevity of it, the opacity of it, pigmentation, that kind of thing. And with concealers and foundations, I feel like it's extremely important to look into the ingredients and see how similar those are. And with these two concealers, I found the ingredients extremely similar. They are slightly different because obviously there are cheaper and more expensive options available for chemical products as well. And you can clearly see that in these products, they have pretty much the same things in them, but just more affordable and more expensive versions of the same thing. Of course, with both of them, the main ingredient is water. And with the Nars one, the second one is dimethicone, which is basically a silicone type of product. The third ingredient is a polymer that is basically there to hold all the ingredients together once you apply them on the skin. And with the Maybelline one, again, the water is the first thing, but then you have a different type of silicone following it. And then again, you have a polymer, but a slightly different version. They both have glycerin quite high on the list of ingredients. So they are very, very similar. They are pretty much the same technology, just different type of things. But I believe that that could be said about most concealers, and you guys are probably not that much interested in the chemistry side of this, but more interested in the products, how they perform. I'm just gonna zoom you in for a second. So once again, this is the eye where we put on the Maybelline one. I don't see any fading, I don't see any creasing going on. Everything is absolutely fine. And then this is the Nars side. I feel like it's exactly the same. The only thing I can see is that the mascara I'm wearing is not the best because it started transferring to my under eye, but that's got nothing to do with the concealer, obviously. Around the face as well, the concealer is still there, and I honestly think that it's pretty much the same on the two sides. So that's all I had to say about these two concealers. Once again, I just feel like the Nars one is a little bit higher coverage and it is more matte to the touch. I feel like it is more foolproof and easier to work with. With the Maybelline version, you can go overboard if you're not careful, and it's a quite watery product, so it will look more cakey if you try to build it up to the same coverage that the Nars one has. I'm not really a person with dark circles or discoloration around the eyes, so I'm fine with the light coverage I get from these products. For me, fine lines are a much bigger concern, and because of that, I actually do gravitate towards lighter coverage from my concealer, or sometimes even no concealer at all. I do like to use concealers like this Nars one to just highlight areas of the face instead of actually add coverage, because I am happy with the coverage my foundation gives me. So if you do have dark under eye circles or discoloration around your eyes, this might not be enough for you. The Nars could be, but the Maybelline one is not that high of a coverage as far as I can tell. But if you are looking for a natural looking, very lightweight concealer that's not gonna crease under your eye, these are both really, really good options. And the Maybelline one is actually gonna save you 3/4 of the money. So I think that's quite a good deal. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and find it useful, but I highly doubt that this is the first time you see a comparison of these two concealers. Let me know if you ever tried any of them, both of them, which one did you like. If you found this video useful though, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I would love to have you here. And until next time, take care of yourself. I will see you very soon.